Greetings, friends, and thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. T, and I welcome you to living your life to the fullest. Today, I want to speak to you about a very interesting topic. I want to speak to you about the whole brain model. I want to speak to you about multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. But I also want to speak to you about the importance of TVET colleges in South Africa. And I'm going to use the story of a gentleman called Jerry Mallo. Jerry Mallo is one of the most brilliant young men that I've come across on YouTube. And what's fascinating about him is that he built sports car. This gentleman from Nigeria, he built sports car, and I'm speaking about not just a toy but a real sports car. So I'm going to share his story, but just to emphasize the importance of TVET colleges. What is the importance of TVET colleges? Because TVET colleges are not as much valued and preferred in South Africa as in other nations or in the US. And you are going to learn more why TVET colleges are important, and also to understand the importance of understanding multiple intelligences or different forms of intelligences. So be with me as I take you through this particular video. Thank you so much, and I welcome you. But just to give you a bit of a background of what led to this particular story, before I get into it, if you are not yet a subscriber, I encourage you that click on the red button below this video and subscribe to the channel, so that every time I post a video, you are able to get a notification. Click the bell as well. With the bell, you are going to get a notification every time a video is posted. And if you've got any question regarding what I'm going to be sharing about, put those questions on the comment section, and I dedicate a time on weekly basis to answer any question that you might have regarding what I will be presenting. I'm telling you, one of the reasons I am posting this video is because today I actually had a very wonderful session at Harangua under the physics and maths program led by Mr. Maluleka and his team. The gentleman is doing a very good job in Harangua, helping the school and the learners in that area with mathematics and physics. So they invited me to come and do career guidance, and I was very happy to be part of the team, because when I saw the good work that they're doing, I thought I needed to partner with them. So majority of learners in South Africa don't have access to career guidance. As a matter of fact, majority of parents are not even able to afford psychologist fees to be able to get their learners or their kids assessed so that they can get career guidance. So I have made time and dedicated time to provide free career guidance. That is why I wanted to share this video, so that as many learners as possible are able to get free career guidance. So it doesn't matter whether somebody is your classmate, your relative somewhere in the rural areas. Share this video with them so that they can get information about career guidance. Some of the issues that we speak about here might be pertaining to what your parents don't know. So share with your parents as well. Let them understand what I will be sharing with you today. There's a video which I've done, I think about 2 weeks ago, where I said, if you want me to come to your school and provide career guidance to your student, you might be a teacher, you might be a learner, and you know that at your school there is a need for career guidance. There's a video I've done. Check that video, particularly on a description section. Go to the description, and there's a form I've put there. Just fill the form, and I will be able to come to your school and provide you with career guidance. I have took the initiative to go to school in Gauteng or any part of the province in South Africa where I can reach, and it's, I'm able to reach. so that I can provide career guidance. Now, to give a bit of a background, I was presenting to the learners about career guidance, and I made a reference. One of the aspects of the presentation, I spoke about the whole brain model. There's a lot of theories that has gone into the whole brain model. The idea behind it is that the brain, you will understand that it's divided into two hemispheres. So the researchers actually discovered that some people are actually dominant on either one of these hemispheres. But the researchers went further to also suggest that the hemispheres can actually be divided into two, which makes then a 4-quadrant whole brain model. In other words, in the 4 quadrants, each and every individual on earth, you have got a quadrant that you are dominant, which has got an implication for the career that you study, the way you learn, the way you process information, the way you think. Based on that particular quadrant, the minute you understand which quadrant is dominant, that will actually guide you in terms of which careers are you likely to succeed in. But also related to the whole brain model is the concept or the theory of different or multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. Most people who come from psychology background, they know about this particular theory about Howard Gardner. Howard Gardner actually developed one of the psychological assessment tool in order to determine the areas that people can work. But what Howard Gardner actually did in his research, in the research that he did, he found that intelligence has only been referred based on one domain or one ability. In other words, historically, people who have been viewed as being intelligent, these are people who come from analytical background, logical background, mathematical background. Those were the people who have been viewed as intelligent. So Howard Gardner argued that particular viewpoint to say mathematical, logical, analytical is one aspect of intelligence. There are different types of intelligence. And he came up with, I think back then it was 6 types of intelligence, then it went to 7. I think at this point, he has what he has called 9 types of intelligence. And one of the intelligence is basically what I've shared about, the logical, the analytical, mathematical. These are the people who are very good in mathematics, logical thinking. These are people who are very good in, they are very analytical, and they follow careers in engineering, actuarial science. They are mathematicians. So all the field that has to do more with abstract thinking, but more mathematical thinking. You must understand almost every field will involve some form of logical processing of information, but within it, a different context. And there's another type of intelligence, they call it a linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence, these are people who are very good in language. I remember there was a time when we grew up, you know, when you used to talk a lot, they will say you must be a lawyer. And I don't think that's how it works, because to be a lawyer, you don't need to just talk a lot only, but you need to like history. You need to like, you know, a lot of narrative, text, reading and all that, because lawyers, they read a lot. That is why you see them with these big bags which has got documents that they have to read to prepare for their cases. But the good thing, or one of the important thing about being a lawyer, is that particularly if you are an attorney, remember there are different kinds of lawyers. There are lawyers who just sell houses, there are lawyers who just develop contracts, but there are lawyers which are litigators, which are attorneys, which works in court, which study case laws. They understand the laws of the country, criminal laws and all that. These lawyers, most of the time, if you listen to them, you need to be good. You need to have linguistic intelligence to be able to convince the judge about your case. So you must understand it's another type of intelligence. There are lawyers, when you listen to them argue their case, you wish you can just listen to them the whole day, because you enjoy the way they narrate the case, the way they peg the facts upon each fact, the evidence, the way they present it. It's the linguistic intelligence that is needed, coupled with understanding of history, the background and the case and all that. But it's not only about that. I mean, linguistic is very broad. I mean, I remember back in the days I was at UNISA, I think around 2007, there used to be this gentleman at UNISA. This guy, I think one of his job was that when we collect material, he used to have a mic. He used to call us on the mic. This guy was very good. He could call an African's name, Pedi name, Nguni name, Tsonga, Venda, any name, he could call it. And he was calling it so accurate. I tell you, the first time I saw that guy, I wish I could just remain on the queue and listen to him the whole day. That's how good he was. The guy was, I don't know if you know him. If any of you was watching this know that guy, please put it in the comment section. That guy, around 2007, he used to hand out call names of people to collect their study material. The guy was very good. I can't remember, I don't know his name, but that guy, just listening to him, you will enjoy just being on that line. We used to be long collecting study material, but he will call any name and call it very well. They're not the kind of guys who call a name and apologize. I wish I had said it correctly. He was good. That's part of linguistic intelligence. And linguistic intelligence is very broad, you know, but that's one of them. There are people who are spokespersons. A spokesperson, a very good spokesperson, if you listen to them, you wish you can just listen to them the whole day. The way they articulate what they're talking about, they are very good. You need a linguistic intelligence. People in marketing, in promotions who speak in front of people who are convincing. In sales, you also need some form of linguistic intelligence. So it is very broad, but you need to know that people who say, I'm very convincing. If I talk to you, you will buy whatever product. You need linguistic intelligence. There are other skills you need, but linguistic intelligence might be one of them. And there's also what we call interpersonal or emotional skills. People like us who do psychology, we are actually in this particular domain. Among other things, we are mainly in this. We've got emotional, interpersonal intelligence. We know how to relate with people. We understand how people feel. We can be in a situation, we can see how people feel. We can be able to understand and analyze the situation. That is why there are some people, they can be in a group, they can be in a particular context. You find that are perceived as not being analytical, as not being able to analyze a situation better, to know how to act better. That is why you hear people making a statement, you know, that particular person doesn't have timing. It's lack of interpersonal intelligence. So it's another form of intelligence. There's also what we call musical intelligence. There are some people, when they sing, it's like as if they're not even opening their mouth, you know. It's a particular form of intelligence. That is why you see people at idols, they are at wooden mic. We laugh at them because we wonder who advised them to be here, who advised them that they can sing. You know, they don't have the musical intelligence. So when you have the musical intelligence, anybody can see that. And musical intelligence also speaks to people who can play instrument. You know, they just look at you playing, they observe you, they can mimic what you do, they can listen to any sound and produce it. You know, they're very DJs who are very good with music. That is a form of intelligence. They can hear sound and produce a particular beat that people can like and dance for. It's another form of intelligence. That is why some of you like musicians, you follow their music, you like what they do. It's an artistic musical intelligence. There's also what we call visual and spatial intelligence. I'm not going to share all of them. I'm just giving you an example. People with visual intelligence, they're able to see imagery. There are people who can just think, and this gentleman I'm going to share with you about, he has got that particular intelligence. You imagine something, you are able to produce it. There are people like you who do that. You can just think of something and portray it artistically. You can draw it, but you just imagined it. You have got that visual, you think in images. Whatever image that comes into your mind, you can portray it on a paper, or you can, make a visual representation of it. It's another form of intelligence or spatial intelligence. There are some people that can be able to see images in 3D and produce them. I mean, I've seen people who want to build houses. They go to people who have design skill, and they're able to produce a building before it's even designed, before it's even built. They're able to produce 3D design, and you are able to see that particular building in a complete form. It's another form of intelligence. So this is what actually Gardner was arguing for. And when I was presenting, I made an example about Lionel Messi and Tiger Woods, and I made an example to them. I said, all these players, they are intelligent in their field. However, if you put Messi and Tiger Woods in the golf course, Tiger Woods will win the competition. If you put Tiger Woods and Messi in the football field, Messi will become the best. And I took it further. I said, if I take a mathematician professor, I put him in the field with Messi, that professor will look like he's an uneducated person. Why? Because he's not a professor of sport, of soccer, but he's a professor of mathematics. The same way, if I take Messi and I put him in a mathematical class and give him an expression, theory, and say, solve this particular expression, Messi might see a lot of flames there. Because why? He's the best in the soccer field, but he's not the best in mathematics. So he is intelligent, but his intelligence is limited to a particular context. So intelligence is like that. That is what Gardner was arguing, that we can't narrow intelligence. People like Messi, Tiger Woods, a professor of mathematics, they are all intelligent, but they are intelligent in their own field. So intelligence must be understood in that particular way. And that is why I wanted to speak about the importance of TVET colleges. You must understand, we have different types of higher education institutes in South Africa. We have what we call traditional universities. Traditional universities, they focus on theoretical, or they're theoretically orientated. You do a lot of theory in what we call traditional universities, like your UP, UCT. These are traditional universities. They offer degrees, doctorate, masters, and they are also referred to as academic. People who go there, most of them, they become academic, or they are doing professional qualification. They do a lot of research, a lot of theory. And we've got what we call universities of technicons. Universities of technicons, they are vocationally orientated and also training orientated. Most of them, they actually incorporate practicals as part of the qualification. You find that before you qualify, you need to do some form of practicals, like your TUT, CUPT, all these technicons, DUT, MUT. They are technical universities. They are not as theoretical as a traditional university. Why? Because there are some people who can learn through a lot of theory. They need some form of practicals. And then you've got what we call, in the last level of universities, we've got what we call, in another level of other type of universities, there's what we call comprehensive universities, which combine the two, combine both the traditional and the universities of technical, where you get an offering of both degrees, higher certificate, diplomas, and all that. So the difference among them is the type of qualification they offer, but more so how that qualification is offered as well. One is more theoretical based, one is a mixture of theoretical and practical. Although universities, they do practical, but it's not as the focus is more theoretical than the practical aspect. But the last level of higher education institute is what we call TVET colleges. Now, TVET colleges in South Africa does not receive the same amount of attention as compared to universities, or as compared to TVET in other nations. I was in the US in the past month, and TVET colleges are actually highly rated in the US. Every community, they've got TVET colleges. And you go to other nations, Australia and so, TVET colleges are highly rated. Why? Because TVET colleges, they are actually a platform, an educational institute that are able to build skills that are scarce within a particular nation. And South Africa has started to focus on TVET colleges. Currently, we have 26 universities in South Africa, and you've got 50 TVET colleges. The reason you've got so many TVET colleges is because the nation, or the DHET in particular, they have started to recognize that there are scarce skills in the country, and TVET colleges are actually very critical to fill those particular gaps. So I'm going to share a story of this gentleman called Jerry Mallo, just to show you what TVET colleges can do for learners like him. Jerry Mallo's story is very inspiring because he's one of the learners who struggled academically, particularly with theory. He struggled a lot with theory, and the only way to understand him is to understand the different types of intelligences according to Howard Gardner. I want you to listen to this story of Jerry Mallo. I'm going to take certain videos that I saw in the internet about him and the interview that he did. Just listen to his story. It's a very inspiring story. You'll see the kind of intelligence that he has, that in other contexts might not be viewed as intelligent. If he was in your class, you might not view him as intelligent, but this is one form of intelligence that other people might not have. Listen to this particular story.
Hello and welcome to Eyewitness Report on Channels Television. This week, it's a dream come true for 25-year-old Jerry Mallo, who unveils his made in Nigeria's car. In August this year, we followed up on the story of Jerry Mallo, a 25-year-old agro-machinery fabricator who promised to build a 100% made in Nigeria's car. Well, he has finally done it with the unveiling of the Benny Puri in Abuja. Join us. When Eyewitness Report visited Jerry Mallo, a 24-year-old agro-machinery fabricator, he shed light on his vision, which included building a 100% made in Nigeria car.
We've started already. I would say I've started, apart from the first prototype I made some years ago. We have over 15 cars we've designed, and amongst them we picked one and we made the first model of it, the life size now, like real size that people will enter. It looks like a Lamborghini, a Ferrari kind of look. And hopefully, and for the movie acting too, we've started doing some short movie videos. And in these videos, we want to showcase that car. And in that, of course, in the video, the car is going to be faster than all the rest, you know. You know, just something like that. So we've done one, actually. We've done one, and I'm sure that Nigerians will be amazed, will be amazed when they see it. I'm sure some people will find it difficult to believe that it was made here in Nigeria. But then, few words, we've not started yet. Nigerians will see amazing things come out from us. It's an assurance we have for the world at large, not just Nigeria or Africa, I would say.
After then, the car was still being fitted together. Only recently in Abuja, the Benny Puri was unveiled by the Plateau State Executive Governor, Simon Lalong. With the unveiling done, Jerry Mallo speaks on how he feels and the future of his plan.
I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, this story is fascinating. Imagine that, being able to build a car, a sports car. I mean, you must watch other videos. He was also interviewed by, you know, one of a colleague in content creation called Aima. Aima does videos of different people, different location. He shows Africa, but he interviewed him, and I'm going to show a clip when he asked him about what actually inspires him. You can check Tayo Aima for the work that he has done, because I took this video and I want to acknowledge him. His channel is doing well. I learn a lot from what he does as well. But I want you to listen to when he was interviewing him, asking him what actually inspired him to be able to come up with this cars. Listen to what Jerry shared about. And this is a form of intelligence, to be inspired like that and be able to produce that thing, that the way you've been, to produce something from that particular inspiration.
So my whole quest, I've just been seeing how I could realize this. I always told my parents I would want those cars one day to run without fuel as the first thing, to be able to fly, to be able to move on water and on land at the same time. So they will always laugh at me by then and say, you don't know anything, you don't know what you are saying. So that pushed me to start learning inverter systems, solar systems, seeing how I could get free ways, I could get free energies. After secondary school, I just felt how Nigerian universities will not really give me what I wanted.
What you wanted?
I wanted the practicals. I was not good in academics actually. Just so you know, in secondary school, I was an art student.
Are you serious?
I did history, literature, and all that. I didn't do science. So the first year after my secondary, that was 2012, I made my first life-size car. I built a car with out.
You built a car?
Yes, just an amateur.
2012?
Yes, a very small one.
So how old were you then? Do you remember how old you were?
I think I was 17, 18.
How do you come up with your designs of your cars?
The first step is making our designs, coming up with the sketches, doing our clay modeling, doing the life-size clay modeling. Actually, we get to a point where we do this clay work you're seeing, we do the whole life size.
Like the size of this car?
The whole of this car.
That's a lot
clay
of clay. Are you
point.
serious?
Yes. I get a lot of inspiration from other people too. I just feel I don't have to redesign the wheels.
The wheels,
I can just pick it up from
From
where people ahead of me have started.
Yeah.
Rather than going to a university as my mates were doing then, I decided to just go to a roadside mechanic. I was there for 3 months and I felt I had understood it with all the knowledge I had gathered from the internet too. I kept developing myself till I finally got a sponsor.
Oh, you got a sponsor, so
yes,
you left
who
Nigeria.
Sponsored me to UK.
UK, wow.
Yes,
okay.
so I was in University of Hertfordshire where I studied automotive engineering, manufacturing of cars. I was there for a while. School wasn't making sense for me again.
Even in the UK?
Yes,
you don't like school at all?
The notion I had was not what I went there and found. I actually thought I would be doing fully practicals.
Practicals.
And when I went there, I realized the mathematics was way more than what we're doing in Nigeria.
You're doing in Nigeria.
We're doing 4 courses: statistics, mathematics, engineering, mathematics, and programming. So I couldn't even endure to the 3rd year. I wasn't performing well. So I didn't see anything to study other than engineering. And I didn't want to stay there illegally. Yeah. But I just felt I better off come back home and just develop myself to when I could go back there for partners.
Wow, wow, wow. Just listening to that, you can see that this is another form of intelligence. And most of you are intelligent like that. You can imagine something and model it and produce it. I mean, he doesn't need anybody to educate him. When you listen to his story, actually, he mentions that he just went to the roadside mechanic who taught him what he needed to know, then he knew it. Actually, the guy, if you listen to his story, he got a scholarship to go to the UK. People who saw what he's able to do, they gave him a scholarship. They said, I mean, he need to build in this particular field. He went there, and according to his own ways, there was a lot of fury and he dropped out. Imagine that. He went to the UK, he dropped out because there was a lot of fury. Some of you, when you listen to his story, you know, the first time I heard his story, I remembered about multiple intelligences. That most people might not understand Jerry because they are not psychologists like me. As a psychologist, I understand there are learners like this. They are intelligent, but they're intelligent in a different way that traditionally we view intelligence. We view intelligence as mathematics, people who are good with mathematics, numbers, who finish matric. But TVET colleges have come up with a system that grade 9 is the school exit grade, which means formal schooling actually ends in grade 9. So when somebody finishes grade 9 can go to TVET colleges. People who do grade 10, grade 11 and grade 12, they are actually following that path because they want to go to university and be more theoretical, study things, theory and all that about whatever field they want to follow. But if you are more practical, TVET colleges become one of the best route to follow. From grade 9, you can actually go to a TVET college and start building your career. So Jerry Mallo is one of the learners who will have actually benefited from a TVET college system. And that is why I wanted to share with you, because why? This story is fascinating. The good thing about Jerry Mallo, not only did he come back, but he came back determined, because this is a form of intelligence. He came back and he developed what he called agro machinery business. This is a business where they develop machinery for agriculture. I mean, he developed this machine from scratch for any agricultural work that needs to be done. I mean, you can just imagine that. What kind of intelligence is this? I mean, this guy, he's intelligent and he built this business, and he's actually using the business to fund his love for building cars. When you listen to the story of Jerry Mallo, there's something that comes out often. He says, I want to be one of the leaders in the automotive industry, and he is using his skill in order to raise money to be able to build this particular business. Friends, this is a very fascinating story, and I wanted to share it with you so that you can understand how the whole brain model works, but also and more so to understand the different kinds of intelligences. We are intelligent differently, and because of that, we don't all of us need to go through varsity, get PhDs. It is not everybody who must do that. Your intelligence, your level of gifting should guide you the path that you should follow. I hope you enjoy this, and I encourage you that most people don't know this. Your parents might not know this. That is why they push you to go finish matric and do all that. But I think this system, there is value in it, because not all that is why there are some learners in your class that are trying to finish matric, they can't pass, they are not performing well, and it's frustrating them and it's affecting them emotionally. Why? Because they've got intelligence that is in different way. Imagine trying to force Tiger Woods, Messi to get a PhD, to get a degree. These people are intelligent in their own rights, and the minute you understand that, you are able to encourage them better. Share this video with as many people as possible, because most people don't even know this. Your parents might not know this. So share this with them, share this with your colleagues, share this with your friends, your relatives in the deep rural areas who don't have career guidance, who don't have this information. Share it with you. If you've got any question, put it in the comment section and I will attend to it. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day and continue living life to the fullest.